So my kids know I'm supposed to be going. They like, oh, Daddy, you gotta do your podcast. So, but my son, he's 3, so he's like, he's the clown. He gonna say, oh, you gotta do a potty cast today. I say no, and he crying, laughing like he's literally wiping tears from his eyes because he's doing it on purpose. I say, what? He's like, you got a potty cast?
Potty cast.
I said, no, man, it's a podcast. So
that's funny. Yo, what's up? I am Omega, and this is Diverse Clarity. This is where we have those thought-provoking conversations about things that matter and some that don't. And of course, today I'm here with my co-hosts. All right, to my immediate left, I got my man Kingsley and Mel. What's good, fellas?
What's good? What's good?
What up, dog?
What's good?
How y'all doing? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Right.
Listen, if you knew how I wanted to be here all week, man, you'll understand that.
Well, tell us how bad did you want to be here this week?
Like, I understand how we have great music. Like, I can see someone being like, "Yo,
great music.
I want to come to the studio. Yo, I want to come to the studio and record."
Yeah.
Like, I can see that shit now. Like,
okay.
In the middle of the week, I'm like, man, I just want to come to the studio and just talk shit, just talking to Mike. So
we've been talking for
about fucking hours.
3 hours. I don't even know.
Always. We always start on it.
We just gotta hit record as soon as we come through the door. As soon as the third person comes through the door.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's almost tomorrow, fam. We've been here since what? 8? It's over 3 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I see that now. Like, I can see how.
That's why I need a nap.
To the studio.
Right. Look,
that's why
I called like, hey, I sent y'all a message at 4, like 7:30.
Hey, bro, I know I was knocked out.
Like,
I know I was knocked out because I talked
like,
to
boys
him.
must be knocked out around here.
Yeah.
If you had sent that earlier, though, I definitely would have been down.
It didn't even click until.
I wouldn't have seen it. You would have had to send that like early in the morning, like because I came home and I did what I need to do, and I was like, I'm napping before I go to the studio. So
all my evening meetings, they was getting canceled. Like, I was
because they know what time it is.
So what was it like for you then this week? He's anticipating coming here. What happened in your world?
Man, you know what? I was ready to come. I was definitely ready to come today, but I've been ready all week.
Right.
But man, I just been working and working out, man. Me and the wifey started a little workout regimen. We doing good. So this was our first week. Feeling good.
Yeah,
just working and working out. Please, you're not gonna come in here and do the John D. Like, I'm just working on trying to get better.
Yeah, you know
working on getting better, working on getting good.
I'm trying to think, what was something good?
Yeah, tell us something different,
something juicy.
Yeah, because we already know you work out. Go ahead.
So
get it.
So my kids know I'm supposed to be going. They like, oh, Daddy, you gotta do your podcast. So, but my son, he's 3, so he's like, he's the clown. He gonna say, oh, you gotta do a potty cast today? I say no, and he crying, laughing like he's literally wiping tears from his eyes because he's doing it on purpose. I say, what? He's like, you got a potty cast?
Potty cast.
I said, no, man, it's a podcast. So
that's funny.
That was crazy. But I'm trying to think, man. Nah, man, we've been having a really good week, man. I had to go off on some people at
but don't talk about it. Don't talk about it.
I had to go off some people at my kids' school, but it's been going good.
And ain't nobody do nothing disrespectful to them.
Nah, man. It's just it's just some things. Trying to be proactive about some things that we anticipate. And so just kind of sending a message like, hey, like we need to find a solution to this future problem.
Right.
So
yeah, a lot of people fail to realize, man, schools are the microcosm of the world, man. Microcosm of America, microcosm of a lot of things that's going on. So
somebody's been using a thesaurus.
Right. No, but seriously, man. Schools are like the microcosm of like a lot of shit, because
we're gonna put a microcosm count in the bottom of this screen.
No, because you have a lot of different genders, a lot of different cultures, a lot of different mix in the building.
Right.
And then you got teachers who are not from those cultures, not from that mix. And you got a lot of shit that pop off, man, in schools, man. I'm telling you, man.
We had an issue like that last year, man. One of the teachers, man, they were using slang, and so, and the way they used it, it will be considered disrespectful in our culture.
Where they from?
British.
No.
Okay.
I think she was. I don't know where she was from, but I just knew she wasn't American.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
And so I was like, being here where this is a melting pot of so many cultures, you should be aware that there's different interpretations for the same thing. I said, you might want to refrain from you.
Yeah.
I didn't even say you might.
I would love to know what she said. Now I'm sitting here on edge. I'm like, I want to know. You got me off camera.
Yeah.
Well, shit. I'll share. I just got told today, my homegirl works at a school, and the principal was telling a student, 17-year-old student, hey, you can't do that here. This ain't the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Like, man. I'm telling you, man, it's.
And what does that mean? That's probably what
you know what I've had somebody say something like that similar to me, but they were referring to an area called Satwa, which is like in Dubai.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, the way that it was explained to me is that was like an old part of Dubai.
Yeah.
And like I guess it wasn't people weren't too fond of it, and it will be referred to as the ghetto. So they say.
Right.
And somebody said, something about doing something the Satwa way. But I had no idea what that was.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then when
Right.
somebody told me after, they were like, yo, he like just pretty much disrespected you in front of everybody at that meeting that speaks that language. I'm like, what are you talking about? I had no clue. So like, that's like the worst, right? When it's like the oblivious. Like,
yeah, we have no idea.
You know, whatever. And it's just like, okay, cool, got you. So, but I want to know what happened with, or you can't talk about it.
Yeah. So we, I just told the teacher, it was kind of like, so my daughter did something. And so the feedback that the lady gave, it was sarcastic.
Right.
And so, so anytime the kids do work, we look at all the comments. And it was during like the whole COVID online thing. So I was like, hey, I'm not sure, but this is sarcastic. You know what I'm saying? Like, your sarcasm is not wanted here. And so she was like, no, I rest assured it's not sarcasm. I said, so what is it that you want? What was the result of, that comment? Like, do you provide feedback in order for the student to either know what they done wrong or to improve?
I'm still dying to know what this is.
And so
he's getting there.
Yeah, so
I'm like, man,
he's getting there.
So you know what I'm saying. And so you know how like when somebody say something and they be like, okay, and it was like one of that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like that emphasis of like,
I got it, motherfucker.
Yeah. All right. And so it was kind of like that sarcasm of like, you know what I'm saying?
Shut up.
Like you're dumb. You know what I'm saying? And so when the lady, she went to explain and I was like, nah. So I just tore it in them. So because a lot of teachers don't know, my kids are in school, but they don't know like my wife's a teacher. I used to be an administrator. And so like there's jargon and different words that you use and what, and what they mean, like especially educational terms. And so I just, when they do those things, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to tear into you. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, what's the how I used to go? Nah, I got to get you.
It seemed like it's been a rough week for everybody.
What happened?
So what's going on with you, man? You asking us about our week?
So, all right, so check it. This week, right? Like the week was fine for me, right? But the other day, I was coming home from work and I stopped at the gas station. I was going to obviously get gas and I was going to put some air in my tires, right? So I stopped, and you know how like most of the gas stations here, they got a mosque, right? Oh. Okay, so I stopped and I backed my car up to so I can fill up my tires. So when I back my car up, I'm like the mosque is to my right.
Right.
I'm emphasizing on the mosque for a reason. So like I back up, so I'm there or whatever. And as I get out, the gentleman like walked over from the gas pumps and was like, no, I'll do it for you. I'm like, oh man, they nice, right? I always stop at the gas station. So the guy knew me. So anyway, he comes around, he starts putting the air in the tires and stuff. Now I'm backed in, the mosque is over to my right, okay? And the guy, he's on the right side of the car, he's at the front right tire. And he's kind of like waving at me to get my attention. And he says, hey, I can't get the cap off of this one. So I was like, all right. So I knew the window was down. So I walked around. I was like, oh, like the tires, they have two. Like there's the one that's in the front. And then if you reach inside the rim, like there's another one, but it's the same thing, right? So I was like, oh, this one right here, do this one. And he's like, oh yeah, it's easy. Okay, no problem. Like that. So now try to picture this. So he's at the front right side of my car, right? Front right tire. So I leave there. I'm walking back across the front of my car. When I'm walking back across the front, like I'm nearly like my leg is touching my car, touching my bumper. A car pulled up next to me, a SUV. The SUV pulled up, and right next to me, they open up their door. A man gets out, and then he's leaving the door open, and his son gets out. I'm waiting at the front of my car, right? Mm-hmm. So like they can pass, and I can go back around and get in my car because there's no space, right? So as I'm standing there, the little boy leads the way, you know, walking with the man. And when he comes, the little boy is like trying to squeeze between me and my car. Like I said, my leg is like nearly on my bumper, right? Mm-hmm. And he's trying to squeeze between. And I just kind of like stood there and just moved to the side. And then the father is behind him, and he like puts his hand on the back of his son's head, like guiding him around me the other way. And then this month looked back at me and called me the N-word. And I'm like, and all I could say was, what? And when he walked away, like, so imagine, and he's walking towards the mosque. And when he walks away, when I said, what, right? He still got his hand on the back of the little boy's head with his left hand. And with his right hand, he does one of those, you know, the little, those who are listening to the podcast, I'm like flicking my right hand, like, you can go now type of thing, right? And that's what he did. And I was just like, yo, I'm really being tested, fam. Like, I just sat in the car because I'm like, yo, the dude was about, look, if we was to take his body and compare it to mine, he would fit in my thigh. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so I'm just thinking like, yo, I'm really being tested right now. Like, I don't know why or what's going on, but yeah, that happened to me the other day. And I was just like, wow. So I say that. And so I ask y'all brothers this, how do y'all handle conflict? Because in that situation, I didn't do anything. It's not always that clean. Nah. But like, what's the best ways to handle conflict? In y'all opinion?
I don't know. Go ahead.
I don't handle conflict. I avoid conflict.
You can't avoid conflict.
No,
it's
seriously,
going to find
seriously.
you.
So what do you do? How do you avoid conflict?
How could I have avoided that? That came to me.
I don't say anything. That's how I avoid it. I don't say anything. I keep it moving.
Okay.
I didn't say anything, and I got called the N-word by somebody who was about to go and pray.
Conflict is between conflict
for no reason.
Conflict is between two people. So you walk away.
It's like the
you avoided conflict. Conflict is between two people. You avoided conflict.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
By just walking away. Okay. So it really wasn't a conflict because it wasn't involving two people. So you just kind of was like, whatever. But in a situation like that, I'm in another person's country. Were they local?
Yeah.
Yeah. At that point, I'm just like, it's your country. It's your world. I'm the visitor. If something happens,
so you just let them talk to you any kind of way.
I won't see that. See, I won't say no. I won't. I didn't say that.
That's what you just said.
No,
that is literally what you just said.
I didn't say.
Let them say whatever.
He literally just said that.
I'm just out. I'm out. You avoid conflict.
It's your country.
You look at the ASAP Rocky situation when he was in Switzerland and some shit popped off and they arrested him.
Sweden, I think. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Like at some point, man, in these people's countries, man, you gotta let the manhood go. Like it's their country. You don't know how the law enforcement is going to react to them. I've had friends get into accidents with locals, and it was the local fault. And it was just like the expat got the ticket. The expat had to pay the fine. The expat had to do this. Literally, because you don't know what the outcome is going to be, I would walk away. That's me.
Okay. Scratch
here.
Yeah.
But like, what about any other place?
In your country.
Like in your country. Like, how did you?
So like,
you always about that life, man.
About what life?
Conflict and shit popping off. And, no, seriously, like shit popping off.
Okay, look, hold up.
Okay, so any conflict.
Right, I've always been reserved. That's how my mama raised me. I've always been reserved. So when some shit pop off, and I hate to say this on camera, I will shrink because I'm not about that life. I'm not about the gunplay. I'm not about the beef. I'm not about the
arguments.
Pause,
arguments.
Hold up. Wait. Hold up.
Did I take it left?
Wait,
My bad.
hold up.
Let me get right.
Wait, you talking about gunplay and stuff? I'm not going that route.
From his environment. That's
That's
what
how I was raised. Conflict to me
turns into
gunplay, turns into a constant beef where it's like, fuck, all I did was step on your shoe and I apologize. My bad. Why are we at this point right now?
You're taking it
way far.
You're taking it to an extreme.
Got you.
Imagine you're in a restaurant and you order a steak, potatoes, and broccoli with some cheese on top that's supposed to be melted.
Okay, salt and pepper.
And they come back out, fine, whatever. They come back out, and she brings you lamb, cauliflower, and macaroni and cheese. And it ain't black folks macaroni and cheese. That's a conflict. You're going to take this food or you're going to address it.
I won't take it. I will address it, but not in the manner that most people would. I'll be like, whoa.
Okay, so how about, what do you mean in the manner that most people would? You're not going to correct the lady or the man that brought you your food?
I will correct her.
Okay, so let's role play.
Okay.
All right.
I'm bringing you your food out. Okay, sir, here's your lamb, your macaroni and cheese from other, and your cauliflower.
Is she gonna say that?
She's gonna say that because you know I didn't do right macaroni and cheese.
Lamb. I thought I ordered.
Enjoy
beef.
your meal.
Whoa, wait. I ordered beef.
No, you ordered lamb.
No. Well, can I get this changed to beef?
I'm sorry, we've already cooked it. You can pay for this one, and then we can make you another order.
I wasn't expecting that.
Because I'm a thespian.
Shit. I don't know, man. I would in that situation, and this is gonna sound, I don't know how this is gonna come off or how it's gonna age well. In that situation, I would
age well.
I would expect
He's really worried about the internet.
Yeah, I would expect the woman that I'm with to kind of have my back on this. Cause
you by yourself.
Oh, I'm by myself.
Yeah, it's one of them lunches.
Eat that lamb.
Manager.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Manager.
Hi, my name is Gustavo. I'm the manager.
Hey, Gustavo. I ordered when the waitress came. I put my order in for beef.
Great. I hope you enjoy it.
But I got lamb, so I won't enjoy it.
Then you must have told her lamb.
There's no way it's like that. No, no, come on. Let's be realistic. There's no way it's like that. You're talking
about Sarah, right?
Yes.
Sarah just got employee of the month for the last 4 months. She knows how to listen. If she gave you lamb, you asked for lamb. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, that's not how it goes, bro. No. Listen, these people are on a customer is always right basis.
Okay, and so what?
Customer is
except
always
for when we know you're wrong. That was Sarah that was helping you. 4 months in a row, she's been employee of the month.
How you gonna address it? You just gonna eat that
There's
lamb?
no way that Sarah got your order wrong.
No.
Okay,
I've been in situations like this.
Okay, what happened with those situations?
Sir, if you're gonna make a ruckus, and we're gonna have to ask you to leave.
Wow.
After you pay for the meal.
Wow.
Sir, am I gonna need to call Karen or the police?
Either one will do.
Wow, if it gets to that point, now I'll definitely start feeling uncomfortable because
So
what are you gonna do?
I don't know, B.
You go eat that lamb. That's
No. One thing I won't. Seriously.
Hey,
one thing I won't do is eat that. No. One thing I won't do is eat that lamb.
It's a bush. Hey, you gonna be. This a bush.
Nah.
That was. Like, okay, so
one thing I won't do is eat that lamb.
Okay, so in similar situations like that, what happened? What did you do?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Mama,
I've never.
Hey, Mom, I'm at this restaurant. They trying to get me to eat.
Nah,
I'm gonna call my.
I don't know, man. I've seen it. I've seen in situations where they've catered to the customer.
For you,
okay, but we're talking about
with you when you were out. Did they cater to you?
Yeah, if there was a mistake made on the order,
you just tell them.
I would tell them. They'll take the food and give me the correct order. Okay. Yeah, I mean, but if in that scenario, I don't know what I would do because it's just like.
But you have to do something. So, you have to do something. We gave the scenario.
One thing I won't do is raise hell. Let's bring it out. One thing I won't do is raise hell.
Okay, but listen, you know what though? You're threatening just by your hair, your skin tone, and the way that you look.
Now we talking way past conflict now.
But this is what happens, right?
And your chain.
This is what happens. Sir, please.
You're a stereotype.
You speaking some real shit.
You're a stereotype. Now what?
But now we're factoring. So what if I didn't have the chain in the grill and the hair and all that?
Rebecca,
you got it now.
Rebecca, call the police. This may get ugly. Sir,
what are you gonna do?
We brought you the lamb. No, Rebecca, call the police. Sir, we brought you the lamb. We brought you the cauliflower, just like you asked for, and the macaroni and cheese from other. Okay?
Wow.
So either you're gonna take this, you can take it to go if you don't want to be here, but you're going to pay for this meal. And if we have any issues with you, Rebecca, I said call the police, then we're going to have to ask for assistance.
Wow, that shit just hit me. Like if I was in that situation,
Rebecca, call the cops. Sir,
what you going to do?
Damn. Y'all brought me back to Fresh Prince episode with Carlton when he got arrested. I mean, I'll leave, man.
You just get up and leave? You gonna pay for the meal?
Sir,
I'll pay for the meal and leave.
You gonna pay for the meal?
Because that's the conflict maybe it came from my late father, because my mom used to always tell me how my late father used to be like scared of the police.
Uh-huh.
Every time they had a beef, she'd be like, I'm gonna call the police. He'd be like, no, okay. So maybe that came from my late father. I don't want that situation in my life.
What situation? The police being called?
Yeah, like if it gets to that point,
you're just gonna avoid it by any means.
By
necessary.
any means necessary, man. That's just how I am. That's the cloth that I'm cut from.
Yeah.
Okay. So avoidance is a way to
deal with conflict.
Deal with conflict. Avoidance is a way, but
I will be honest with y'all. I will not sleep.
Is it an effective way?
Or is that the
no?
only?
That's not effective.
Because the deal is this, right? I understand where you're coming from as far as like you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're gonna cause trouble, put yourself in trouble, make a scene, all of these things, right? But we practice how we play. And if you go through your entire life, just my opinion, if you go through your entire life and you avoid conflict, then you're truly never going to know how to actually deal with it. And in a lifetime, you will be faced with conflict. I don't care how much of an avoidance practice you put forth, you're going to be introduced to conflict. Wow. And you're going to have to deal with it. So if you avoid it all the time, you think American football players go out and every practice is no pads, no hits? No, you gotta get in there and do it exactly to know.
That's
to have
scary
that experience.
for me. That's scary for me because I'm not on that level. Like real talk, I'm not on that level.
So you always avoid it.
I'm on a avoid it. I'm on a don't call the cops. I'm on a that's just where I'm at right now.
So if you feel that somebody has done you some injustice, you wouldn't speak up about it?
Man, I'm gonna have to be real, man. Probably not, man.
Okay, so let's take this and talk about ways. Let's be productive. Let's be proactive. Let's talk about ways that we can deal with conflict.
Okay.
Right? And like one of the top ways that I can remember off the top is you tell the person that is trying to deal with the conflict, don't get defensive. This is one of the things. Don't get defensive, right? So when it comes to that, so what does that mean to you? If you're not to get defensive because you are now been introduced to a situation that can produce conflict, what does that mean? Not getting defensive. To you, what does that mean?
Man, I had to analyze what getting defensive means, but to me, fucking avoiding it, man.
Nah,
not causing.
You can't avoid no more.
We're not. Forget avoid. We're not going to say the word avoid anymore in this episode.
Okay,
right? It's not about avoiding. So because you want to avoid, we're going to talk about ways that you can face it and deal with conflict effectively, right? So one. You get me? You with me, right? Okay, so this is what we doing then. So, right, don't get defensive. What does that mean to you?
Not getting defensive means not making your case, not standing up for yourself.
Defensive?
That's what it means to me.
Okay.
Not getting defensive? What you think?
I don't know. I would think not becoming emotional about it. Stick to facts. Stick to what it was, the situation was happening,
right?
And being clear on exactly
level-headed,
you know, because
that
emotion can trigger energy that you don't want to display, because what you dish out is what you receive back,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And so like I had to learn that. I used to deal with conflict very aggressive. You know, you say something to me, I'm gonna say something to you. You know, just kind of.
It's gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be some smoke in the city. You know, some furniture moving. Right. I always felt like if you disrespect me, I'm gonna get you, and that's just how I felt. It didn't make a difference what it was. It didn't make it young, old.
So let's.
But I had to learn like other ways to cope and deal with my emotions and accept how I feel, but be able to address the situation in a manner that was productive. You know what I'm saying? And so
I mean, and that's what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna hit the points or whatever as far as like what to do. So we know not getting defensive, right? Because that's a big piece of it, right?
Not becoming emotional,
not getting defensive, staying calm in the situation, right? Another thing they'll say is
breathe.
Don't play the blame game. So in the situation that we had, right, the little example that we did, so it's kind of like she's telling you this is what you ordered. So instead of you're trying to avoid. You can avoid by facing it, believe it or not. So when she's telling you,
facing it,
definitely. So when she's telling you, no, sir, this is what you ordered. This is why. This is what I brought you. Okay, listen, Sarah. Maybe I wasn't clear when I made my order. I don't even eat lamb, right? So I apologize if I wasn't clear, and this is why, whatever. What can we do to fix this? Because I really want a steak. I really want this. I really want that. It's not what was brought to me. What can we do to fix it, right? I didn't properly communicate my order to you. I'm just using words. However it is that would be said. But you get what I'm saying? So like, but if you play the blame game, you wasn't listening. I told you what I want. I didn't say nothing about this.
Make matters worse. I'm aware that can make matters worse.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. So not playing the blame game. So I mean, what you think?
Yeah, you definitely. I think you need to. You definitely find a way to communicate effectively. You know what I'm saying? And so like what he was saying was like, you definitely want to be able to address them. Sometimes you got to coach up, you know what I'm saying? Or address them up like, okay, yeah. Oh, really? I wasn't sure. I'm sorry that like he said, I'm sorry. Maybe I wasn't clear, but I am allergic to lamb. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. You know what I'm saying? You kind of be honest. You definitely got to be honest. I'm not saying like lie, but I'm saying be honest of how this could be it's a misunderstanding.
Right.
And just making
go ahead.
Like just making it clear, like this is definitely a misunderstanding. I know, maybe it has to come out of their check. You know what I'm saying? Like see it from their perspective, but also address what it is that you want, the outcome that you want. You know what I'm saying?
And then what about like what they say, active listening, right? She could have truly just misunderstood you. Right? You might have asked her something about what's on the menu. How does this taste? Do people normally get this or whatever? And when you made your order, she might have thought that you were picking something else, but you were just asking about it. So how's the lamb? Oh, well, people get it. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah. I think I'll get the steak. Yeah, and then this and this. And so she could have easily gotten it wrong, but she may be trying to tell you that. But if you're not calm, if you're being defensive, you get what I'm saying? Right? And you're in this mindset, then you're not even going to hear her saying that. Y'all could both figure out together what actually happened. Oh, you know what? I was asking about the lamb, but but I said the steak, and then it's like, oh, I misunderstood you. Then maybe we can come to a resolution. You see what I'm saying? So the only way that you're going to be able to avoid conflict as an adult is to face it. Because
I like that, man. I never thought about that.
But
man.
You're not always going to be able to avoid. It's impossible. You're not going to tell me that you're here knocking on 40 and you've never faced conflict before.
But you also got to.
I won't believe it. I won't believe it.
I know. I feel like there is a time where you should avoid it. Like, you know how the old folks say, pick your battles.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's more like a relationship thing.
Yeah, I'm not saying
necessarily.
that.
That's life too. Sometimes some battles you don't have to fight. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to remember. Sometimes you have to lose a battle to win the war. You know what I'm saying? And so some battles you might have to be like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna walk away from this.
So what's that? How's that different from me being like, okay, you know what? Listen, this is too much. I'm gonna pay for the lamb. I'm out the door.
The whole goal is
How's that
because we shifted this conversation because when you're saying that you don't deal with conflict at all, your main focus is to avoid it. I'm like, nah, you
can't avoid everything.
Right. What you need are tools. To all of us, we need tools to be able to deal with the various types of conflict that we're gonna face. You see what I'm saying? So, and I'm gonna tell you something. Like, for example, that guy, when he said what he said to me just a few days ago, I swear, when I said what, it didn't even register at that moment. It was so quick. You know what I mean? It was so quick. But when I said what, it was like, what? And when I said what, I was like, he just called. Let me get in my car. That was what happened. It was just that quick. But it wasn't like I heard him say it. I realized what he had called me. And then I said what? Because now I'm in a position where I might be provoking.
Right.
Right? Ain't no telling we're going to turn around and pull from up in that Candora. Right? So whatever. So, but that's not what happened. It was, I heard him say something and I guess it was still floating in the air. I said what very quickly and then it hit me. He just said, all right, let me get in my car. That was one of those situations, just like he just said. You choose your battles. That wasn't something that I was trying to deal with. Because what's going to happen? I'm going to beat him up in front of his son and then I'm going to end up in jail? Come on. Like, that's not cute. Who's doing that? Where they do that at? You feel me? But you're not always going to be able to avoid a conflict.
Yeah, I'm aware that I won't be able to.
Lou Williams talk somebody out of robbing him?
Who?
Lou Williams, basketball player. He talked somebody out of robbing him and then took him to McDonald's to get some food. Yeah, I remember hearing that story. Sure.
I'm gonna look that up after the show.
Pretty sure. But go ahead.
I'm aware that I can't avoid someone doing, harm, provoking me.
Right.
I'm aware of that, but I'm aware of like, hey, like I'm gonna just walk away. Like I ain't gotta say nothing else to him.
That series. In moment on the boondocks.
I thought you had said an end moment. I was like, what? And then that's exactly how it was when he said what. Because I don't even hear that word a lot, to be honest with you. So it takes a minute sometimes to register. You was like an end moment, and I'm like,
I don't know, man. Like it definitely. You definitely got to grow. I don't know. For me, I had to grow in that area. That was something that I had to learn.
We all do.
So does that mean that I need to grow in the area of dealing with it?
Yes. Okay.
You got it. So you grew in the area of not letting it.
No, I had to grow in the area. So whether you avoid, so you have, you given the tools of fight or flight. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so you have that. Those are your two options. And so, until you've gained more tools under your tool belt, you'll be able to deal with conflict in a healthy way. You know what I'm saying? Because there's different ways that you can deal with it that is healthy, that is promoting the energy that you want to put out there. So you even though, so by addressing, like I was saying, by addressing it head on, sometimes that is actually avoiding conflict, but it also is growing you in a way on how to deal with it.
Right.
And so you can't
like that.
You can't grow in something that you never faced.
I mean, I think I really got it from my late father, because I mean, my mom used to always tell me how he avoided conflict. Like he really avoided conflict.
But their situation is different.
That's not.
You know what I'm saying? So they came were they born in America?
No, they were born in Haiti.
Okay, so that's why they didn't want to go back. You know what I'm saying? And so they probably avoid in the sense of they don't want to be in trouble
because
they have to go back.
But see, that's what I think about though. I think about the trouble.
Okay.
I think about the trouble. Like I really analyze like how deep can this go?
All right.
So
I got to.
You going to the extreme level. You're involving the law. Right.
And I think because I've never dealt with
deportation.
No, I won't say deportation, but
well, you said you don't want to. What do you mean then when you say that you don't want any trouble?
I don't want any trouble.
No, hold on. You don't want any trouble, but you're thinking about it as a family that has migrated to the U.S.
I won't say that. I'm saying I won't. I'm thinking about how deep can this go? Meaning, like, okay, we have this conflict, right? You call me the N-word. I say something back. You say something back to me. I have a temper, right? I react on that temper. And now all of a sudden I'm in handcuffs. Okay. Then now all of a sudden I'm in jail.
All right.
Then all of a sudden I'm before a judge.
They don't necessarily have to always be those type of situations.
Right.
There's a plethora of situations.
But like we just established with music earlier, before the camera started rolling, it's all about location. So even though it may not end up like what you just said, depending on my location, I may end up in fucking handcuffs because.
How about this? How about this? You're in a relationship. You and your girl are laying in bed together. Y'all wake up in the morning and you like, babe, you want some coffee? And she's like, she don't say anything to you. Babe, you want some coffee? No. Dang. She's saying it with attitude. Babe, you good? Get your hand off me. Y'all went out last night, but what you didn't realize was she thought you was checking out some chick and now she's salty about it, but she didn't say anything to you. But now your woman is salty all day because she think you was checking out Lil Bo Peep or whatever, wherever y'all was at. And that's why she giving you attitude. Right. You going to avoid this conflict?
This is a different type of conflict.
It's still a conflict. And
so
this is what I'm saying.
So how would you address it?
But this is what I'm saying.
Right. How would you address Lil Bo Peep who's looking for a sheep?
If you constantly avoid conflict, one, you're not going to be able to do it. Defeat is impossible, so give it up. You're not going to be able to do it. And this is the woman that you're laying next to every night. You're waking up next to every morning. You're not going to be able to avoid that conflict. You didn't even do anything in this case.
But there's a sense.
Wait, I want to know how would you address that?
But there's a sense of familiarity with it, meaning like this is not a stranger. I just came across the street, whatever, right? Versus someone who I know her idiosyncrasy, blah 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 blah. And it's just like, damn, like I know her. And this is
what does she act different though? What if this thing that you did, y'all been together for a year, right? And this thing that you did, it hit her different, right? Let's say, forget the club, right? She's in, because you know when you don't talk about something, when it's in your mind, it's worse in your mind before you actually know what the truth is, right? Yeah. So you went to a doctor's appointment. And when you finish a doctor's appointment, they was like, oh, if you want to go see this other specialist or whatever, we'll give you a referral. Yeah. And so the doctor or the nurse for the doctor wrote down the phone number of who the referral was for, the other doctor in the hospital. But all she wrote was Alicia or Mona or whatever and the phone number. So you put that in your pocket. You come home, everything is great. You have dinner with your woman. You get ready to go to bed. She did the laundry, or you put the laundry in, and let's say she's folding it. And while she's folding it, this crinkled up piece of paper comes out of your pocket, and it's got Mona written on it.
Oh, it was Alicia.
I said Alicia or Mona. Okay. It's one of them hoes.
Mona Lisa. Hey, Mona Lisa.
So, hey. So the name is on there, right? She sees it. Now she's thinking, he ain't go to no doctor. He ain't know what this phone number doing here. This is conflict that's placed in your lap. But this has never happened before. And this, like you said, is a trigger. And now she's like acting in a way that you have not seen in this year that y'all have been together. How you gonna handle it?
Man, listen, the way I handle that type of conflict, I don't know, I get physical. Like, come here, girl, stop playing. You know I ain't like that.
Boy, if you don't get off of me. Now what?
Babe, listen, you want to call the number?
I don't even want to talk to you right now.
All right, cool.
I don't even want to see you.
I understand you upset. I understand how it looks.
I was going to go to my mother's house, but I think you should just leave.
Keep going. What would you do?
I mean, I don't think that.
Did you hear me? I said you need to leave.
At that point,
I nothing.
At that point, I would leave. Because remember, I just said I don't want to deal with the conflict.
And y'all been together for a year, but we talking about how
if I know I'm right, if I know that's not another woman's number in my pocket. Okay, and you want to kick me out the house.
Fine, right?
I'm out. Okay. Bruh, like what else am I supposed? I'm not gonna sit here.
Okay, so you don't say anything and you let it go. You just let it go.
Would you address it?
Because I honestly feel like it can resolve itself. I feel like it can resolve itself. I feel like it can be in a sense of she finds out that, oh shit, that was a doctor's a number or something like, I don't know,
how
man.
would she find out? Oh yeah, but I'm saying,
how's she gonna find out?
Fuck, man.
She has kicked you out. You have voluntarily left, and there's this phone number. She might not even be able to read the phone number, but you're not there to explain anything to her because you've avoided this conflict.
That's her bad, not mine.
Okay, so guess what's gonna happen? She's gonna think, oh, he don't even care.
I try to talk to you. Fuck. I try to talk to you.
He don't care.
How I don't care. I just try to talk to you.
He don't care. He left. He hasn't even called. He hasn't said anything.
Babe, I do care. Babe, I do care.
Don't call me, babe.
So what? So that's the thing, though. It's a different type of conflict versus being at a pump.
Conflict. It's still. Do you think all conflict looks the same? No. And even if it's the same exact situation, the conflict is going to be different based on how that person is feeling that day.
Right.
Or various characteristics of the scenario.
Right.
All three of us could go through the same situation on a different day or the same day and react in 30 different ways.
Yes,
over time.
It depends on, I understand what you're saying. It depends on the person. It depends on the situation. And so like, you know, in different situations, it may trigger something within you that may cause you to react in a way that is negative. You know what I'm saying? So you add negative to some more negative, and then sometimes it make you feel like, okay, it's a conflict. It's just like, all right, whatever. Like I'm gonna walk away from it, you know, or it's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy because I just had a conflict with somebody that stayed in my complex. I had a visitor to come from out of town. They parked in a parking spot. The security guard came, knocked on the door. It was like, hey, I think your friend parked in somebody's spot. No problem. We'll move the car. And so when we came out, the lady, you know, my boy, he came out. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to move the car. So the lady got out. She started, you know, like, hey, why did you park in my spot? He was like, hey, you know, it was an accident. I'm new. I'm not from here. I just came to visit my friend. I'll move it. And she told him, you ought to know better. And so, you know, in my mind, I wanted to just run up on the lady, but I was like, nah, that don't even make sense, you know. So I just say, hey, what's going on? Is there a problem? And so she was like, yeah, there is a problem. I said, okay, what's the problem? You know? And she was like, he's in my spot. I said, oh, no, we're going to move. It was an accident. We apologize. She was like, yeah, it may not be a problem for you, but it's a problem for me. I said, so I had to tell her, I said, lady, go ahead, get in the car. It's not that serious. I'm going to walk away. You know what I'm saying? Because you triggered something in me to where I'm going to have to continue to respond. And so you have to, so even sometimes when you even addressing a conflict head on, sometimes it has to come to a point where you have to be like, walk away from it. You know what I'm saying? And so, but you don't, if you gain tools on how to deal with conflict, if you consistently avoid it, how do you sharpen those tools? How do you use the tools effectively?
If you know what I'm saying? If you never put yourself in
a
situation to use them.
I like the fact that you guys brought that point up. I never thought about that.
Because you're not
dealing with it to facing it to deal with it.
That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
You gotta face it. You have to face it to avoid it.
But that's like growth. You know what I'm saying? Like people say, you grow when you fail, right? You know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna, when you first address conflict or you deal with conflict, you're not gonna deal with it perfectly.
And just because you do face the conflict doesn't mean that it's going to be a negative occurrence.
Right.
See, that's my mindset. It's always
my mindset is always. But
if
you go into it with that mindset, then that's gonna probably be the outcome.
I think because my mindset is always negative to it is because I've never really dealt with it.
Right. And you thinking negatively. You thinking. You all, like, I mean, from the original examples that you gave, you talked about gunplay and then
going to jail.
You know what I'm saying? Some conflict is not that
you guys can attest to this programming that I have in me right now when it comes to conflict.
Right.
When it comes to really what happens in conflict and how deep it can go. In my mind, it can go deep, like prison time, jail, gunplay.
Okay, but
you guys are letting me know it's not like that all the time.
But you also,
and that just comes from me being from Miami.
Okay, but you also seem to be in your mindset. You seem to think like it must be guns blazing. It must be police involved. It must be deportation. It must be jail time, prison time for it to be called a conflict. And that's not the case.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
It could be as simple. It could even be something that's lighthearted.
Right.
Babe, what you want to watch what you want to watch tonight? Ooh, I want to watch Love is Blind on Netflix. Oh, really? Like I don't really want to watch that. No. I want to watch the new Sandra Bullock movie. I don't like her. I don't think that woman can act in this and this. Now y'all have a conflict.
I don't even let it get that far.
Okay.
But no.
How you want to go let it get that far?
That's a different type of. I'm not thinking jail.
Wait,
me and my significant other on the couch. I'm not thinking jail plays, gun play. Yeah, I'm not thinking that.
Okay,
when I think of conflict, I'm thinking about a total stranger and also relationship wise.
Listen, Linda. This is what we're saying. That doesn't mean that it's that's the whole point of what I'm telling you. That doesn't mean that it's conflict.
Right.
When you think of conflict, and you're confirming now, you're thinking of conflict as this awful situation. It's a stranger. Something bad is going to happen. The cops could be involved. Family's going to get deported. I'm going to lose my driver's license. My job is going to get called. Like, it's not that serious.
Yeah, it could be just a simple.
It's not that serious.
There's different
and
levels.
for you to say, if you're talking about watching a movie with your woman, right? And you're like, babe, what you want to watch? And she's like, how about Love is Blind? And you're like, I was thinking about the new Sandra Bullock movie. And then you was like, I wouldn't let it get that far. So you're not going to conversate with your woman? You're not going to discuss a good movie to watch? Or a good TV show? Or what you're going to binge?
You would just watch Love is Blind.
So it's going to be like,
watch Love is Blind.
Oh my.
Even though you don't want to watch it? The
way I am, the way I'm not rigid. I'm very flexible.
Okay.
So I will find something in Love is Blind to be like, start a conversation, show interest, etc.
So if there's ever something that you want to watch, you're only going to do it when she's not around.
Yeah.
Wow.
If I bring it up to listen,
wow.
Ladies, if you ever wanted one to have where you can mold him. Bam.
Wait.
I'm
my immediate left. This is diverse clarity.
So
I'm not rigid.
Like, so why does that make you rigid?
So if it's something that you want to watch,
maybe it's trauma. Maybe it's
what trauma did you receive where you had to?
Okay. Let me ask this. Let's say, oh wow,
let's go. He said,
I got my ass handed to me. So
how? What happened? I'm sorry. God damn, so disrespectful. What happened?
Wait. No, I'm saying like, what happened to you where you feel like you gotta just always?
That ain't what you were saying.
Say yes.
I won't say no. I don't want to be a yes man.
But that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yes.
I feel like I'm avoiding. I feel like I'm avoiding. Depending on her mood, I feel like I'll be avoiding the conflict.
Brother. Why? Okay, wait. Hang on. Let me.
Why? What is it that? So when you in a relationship, right? You in a relationship, because this is what we're talking about, a relationship at this moment, right? And so when you're in a relationship, your goal or your objective is for that to learn that person and that person to love you. I mean, to learn you, right? And as y'all learn each other, y'all kind of find things that y'all like doing together, and then they also you enjoy doing things that they like to do, and they in return enjoy doing things that you like to do.
Shared experiences.
So it's the shared experience. How are you going to establish a shared experience if you always give in?
I know you know what I like because you were trained to know what I like, but what I want to know is what is it that you like? Whatever you like.
No, I don't think I'm.
So whatever it is, I would say you would do it.
I don't think it's to that extreme.
Bark like a dog.
I don't think it's to that extreme.
Make a noise like an orangutan.
Right.
A big dog.
What do you mean it's not that extreme?
I don't think it's that extreme.
Yeah, brother.
I think I'm at a point now. If I fucks with you, I'm open to learning your world.
We're not talking about learning her world. We're talking about her learning your world.
I'll put it out there. If she bites, she bites. If she don't, she don't. I can't force her to be like, hey, watch this show I love. Watch this YouTube video I love. Like,
so
I can't.
She always say no.
I'll put it out there.
Okay. So if she always say no, then what? How would you address that? Would you stay with her?
If I love her?
Because if I love her, no. If I love her, I'm not gonna let something minute like that.
Ooh.
Separate.
Wait. So wait, hold on.
Exactly.
So if you love her,
the thing is,
right?
I'm trying to land this plane as best as possible. So
no.
Give me time.
First of all,
give me enough runway.
How would they know?
I took your metaphor.
How would they know who you are?
Plane.
How would they know who you are if you never show them or they never experienced?
But see, that's the thing. I can show them. It's up to them to be like, okay, yeah, I fucks with that.
Okay,
or, yeah,
so
I'll
then
deal with that.
That would be a conflict, right? Because how can you remain in a situationship, because it's not a relationship, a situationship where it's only one-sided?
Can I give you a?
That's on me. I think that would be on her.
Can I give you a tip of how to?
Because if I put it
as an equal partner in a relationship, can I give you a tip on how to handle it, babe? What you want to watch tonight? I was thinking we could watch Love Is Blind. Oh man, I was thinking we could watch that new Sandra Bullock movie. Yeah, but I really want to see Love Is Blind. Okay, cool, no problem. Let's watch Love Is Blind now, and then tomorrow we watch the Sandra Bullock movie. Okay.
I'm up to you up until the I'm with you up until the let's watch it tomorrow. So I need to just adjust to that. I need to learn to be like, hey, we'll do this.
Find solutions.
What you have to remember is that just as much as her, your opinion is also valuable, and it should be valued. Period.
Yeah.
It's called compromise. Just because you push an idea that leans into compromising doesn't mean that you're starting a conflict. You're actually avoiding a conflict. You're not spending 20 minutes arguing over what we're going to watch.
Right.
You gave in first. Okay, fine. But guess what? Maybe next time she'll give in, because she'll be like, if she loves you, probably next time she'll be like, oh, no. Let's watch the Sandra Bullock thing. And then we'll watch Love Is Blind after that, because it's a TV series. So it's going to be a bunch of episodes. It's just a Sandra Bullock movie. So boom. Do you get what I'm saying? And when she loves you, she's going to want to do such things.
I still think we're talking about two different situations with conflict, though. A significant other and a stranger that
you can't
stepped on my shoe at the mall and doesn't want to apologize and call me and like, I just feel like that's two different.
There's different levels of conflict. So you have an extreme, then you have a low, and so
significant other would be what, low?
I'm not even saying it's low. I think it's just different types.
Yeah, it can be.
It's not. It's different types. You can have a conflict with your child.
Yeah.
You can have a conflict with your grandmother. You can have a conflict with your woman, your boss, your subordinate, your friends. All of these are conflicts, and just because jail or deportation is not involved doesn't make them any less.
Right, and
a conflict is a conflict at various levels.
So I guess it boils down to like, most people are in conflict because they want their point across, right? Or wherever they feel a disconnect, or it's a misunderstanding. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different parts of conflict. But you have to be present and have to understand your importance in the situation. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes being important doesn't necessarily always mean giving in. Sometimes it is standing your ground
and being heard,
and then finding solutions. And especially in a relationship, there's, like he was saying, it's got to be compromise. And compromise don't necessarily mean you do it and then I figure out something else. Compromise could be, all right, you pick the movie this week, I pick the movie next week. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a compromise. You have to be just, your opinion, your world has to be just as important as her opinion and her world. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't be singular. You know what I'm saying? Then it's not a relationship. You know what I'm saying? A relationship takes time, affection, patience, you know what I'm saying? And also understanding. And how do you have that if it's always yes, okay? Like you just pretty much develop
always yes
or okay.
I mean that
sounds like what you said. I ain't gonna lie.
That is what
I don't want it
it
to. I don't
like
want
what
it to
you said.
seem like that. No, I mean I don't want it to seem like that because I've been called yes man before and I didn't like it. It was this chick I was interested in and she was like, "You seem like a yes man," and I was just like, "What?"
Right. So when do you ever tell
like,
somebody? When do you ever have you ever told a spouse like, "No, we're gonna do this," or "No, I don't want to do that"?
Yeah, I've done that before. I've done that before, and the response has not been well.
Well, I'm not talking about recently. I'm talking about previous.
Yeah, I know my recent situation.
I'm talking about previous relationships. I don't want to talk about that right now. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like in previous relationship, have you ever told somebody no?
I don't want this to come off as if I'm a yes man.
We know you're not.
Because I really don't. When I say that, when she told me that shit, I was like, "What? Yes, man. Well, no." So I don't know, man.
Look.
It could be. It's a fine line between okay, I'm gonna do this because I don't want the conflict. I'm gonna do this because I'm not rigid and I'm open. I'm flexible. I never seen this fucking Love Is Blind shit. That's not something I will watch. But because you want to watch it, I will watch it with you, and maybe I can. As we're watching it, I can find ways to steer this thing to create conversation, create interest. Right. Versus, I'm a Sandra Bullock person and I want to watch this shit. You don't want to watch it. Okay, cool. I'm not going to sweat you for it. I'm not going to get mad about you for it. I'm going to watch that shit on my own. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, watch this Sandra Bullock with me. Oh, you don't want to watch it? Fine. Oh, you don't want to watch it?
Whoa.
You don't want to watch it? Fine. I'll watch that shit late night when you in the bed. Like, I don't know.
Listen, Linda. Just because
Kingsley.
Just because
let's get it right.
This is good as fuck, man.
Just because you have a different idea about what you want to do, right? Especially in a relationship, doesn't mean that when you voice that idea or that opinion that it's a conflict. It's called you being you. Now, how you convey that message to the other person can lead to a conflict of what you're talking about, where it's like, it can lead to that.
It's your response.
Right. But how you address it is something different.
Right.
And like I said, if one person is suggesting we watch this on Netflix or whatever platform you use, and the other person is suggesting this, there has to be a compromise. Now, if you want to be the person that first says, oh, we can watch the one that I said tomorrow, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no conflict there. But the biggest thing out of all of this that's really surprising me is that you're acting as if a disagreement or a conflict with a significant other isn't really a conflict.
I'm not saying that.
A conflict is a conflict is a conflict. There are different levels to it. There are different degrees to them. But a conflict is a conflict. It can be over what you're going to watch tonight. It can be over what you're going to eat tomorrow. It can be over where you're going to travel for your vacation in the summer. It can be over a whole lot of things. It can be over a parking spot. But those are all conflicts. They're all valid potential conflicts or actual conflicts. And just because one is happening in a relationship or it's not on some severe level doesn't make it any less of something that needs to be handled. In fact, when you're dealing with somebody that you care about and that you love and you're in a relationship with them, you want to handle that one with a lot more care. You want to handle that one with a lot more thought. I'm really not worried about this person in the parking lot, about this whole car spot or whatever the case is.
Right.
I might handle that in a haphazard way. Successful.
Haphazard, yeah.
But I still sleep next to the person that I'm with.
So you want to build
and
that.
I want to make sure that I remind her that she's appreciated in everything that I do. I want to make sure that she sees the love that I have for her in everything that I say and do. you're not going to have that kind of care with somebody in a parking lot. So if you were going to use what you're saying about like, oh, I really didn't think it was a conflict, the one that's happening in your own home is the one that's probably more strenuous than the one that's happening in the streets. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, if you're talking about on a legal level and gunplay and all of this stuff and gang and fighting and all, okay, that's something else, but it's still a conflict. But the one that's happening in your own home, that's the one that you need to care for and treat it like a plant, right? Turn that soil, water it all the time. You nurture that because that's what's going to come back to bite you in the butt. Somebody hit your car in the parking lot, that's what you got insurance for.
So let me ask y'all this. Because this just crossed my mind. You grew up. Oh shit!
Go ahead.
I got scared as fuck.
Go ahead.
You grew up with a 2-parent household.
My parents were divorced.
Okay.
I had a deadbeat sperm
Okay.
donor.
So I'm thinking maybe it had to do with my upbringing. Because I mean, single mother. You know, so I'm thinking, because I'm listening to both of y'all, and I'm just like, why am I like this? Like, why is conflict such a thing where I'm just like, I avoid it, I don't know how to deal with it, I have this misconception of it, so why do I have this? So I'm literally sitting here like, it's because I never really saw it. I never saw a mother and a father dealing with conflict. I had siblings. We never really dealt with conflict. So I'm just kind of like, why am I like this? So that's why I was asking, like,
no, I think you have to, I think the tools that your parents can only give you what they have, you know what I'm saying? And so whatever tools that you receive is just your tools, right? But at some point in your life, you have to realize that they didn't give you every tool that you're going to need in order to navigate this world, you know what I'm saying? And so you have to go out and figure out the areas that you're lacking in, the areas that you want to develop more in. And so what we're saying is we enter the world with the ways that we will learn or taught how to deal with conflict. You know what I'm saying? And so by dealing with conflict, we realized that it was a need for us to have more tools in order to address conflict and deal with conflict and how to compromise and how to compromise healthy, you know what I'm saying? Because always compromise is not healthy, but also always addressing it in a light where it becomes bigger than what it is, it's also not healthy. And so you have to balance it. And the only way you can balance it is by having tools to use in the conflict. So that way you'll know more of what conflicts trigger you and the way they trigger you, you know what I'm saying? And so, and what conflicts you willing to walk away from and what conflicts you're not going to walk away from.
And you have to remember that you don't want the same end result for all of the conflicts.
Right. It's your response. You know, your response is what triggers if it's going to be big or small. And sometimes your response can be something in your mind it shouldn't have been big, but if it becomes big, then you still have another choice. You know, you always have a choice. So even though you may have tools, you may have to use multiple tools. Sometimes you may have to, you know what I'm saying, shift conversations.
I love how you said multiple tools.
Yeah.
I've never had the toolbox.
But you got to find them.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? But once you have them, you still got to use them.
I'm thinking this is a reflection of the immigrant household, and I'm not putting too much weight on the whole immigrant household. But I mean, think about it. Like you guys brought it up. Like most immigrants are scared of getting arrested, you know? And I think that just kind of seeped into my blood where it's just like, damn, like conflict.
Right.
I want to avoid that because I don't want no trouble. I don't want no problems whatsoever.
See, you're saying that. You said before that you weren't saying that, but that's the thing. Like, you still have to live your life, and you're like you said. We said this from the beginning. You're gonna need the tools to be able to handle whatever. These tools may prevent you from being in a situation of being in trouble with the law, being able to resolve the conflict or prevent the conflict from escalating. You see what I'm saying? Depending on the situation. And truth be told, you can get in trouble with the law with the person that you're in a relationship with, or some random person on the street, depending on how it escalates and how you handle the situation.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So if you don't have any tools and you back away from any sign of a conflict and you just use avoidance all the time, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Right.
It is what it is.
I still think it's, again, and I've addressed this already, but I just still feel like it's different versus, someone at a grocery store, I don't know.
It is different.
It is different.
Cause some shit.
It is different.
Versus
different.
It is different. We've been saying that.
It is
different.
different.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that it's not conflict.
Right.
That's all we're saying.
And it doesn't mean
it is
it-
different.
I'm familiar with conflict.
Right. And
Right.
it doesn't mean you
So-
walking away from it is always the option.
So when you
Right.
say it's different, what do you mean it's different?
Different in the sense that it's two different people, two different responses, two different situations. I don't know you. You're in the grocery store. You step on my shoe. I tell you to apologize. You tell me, fuck you. Like, don't even apologize.
Okay, so
versus,
okay.
hey, we want to watch this movie. I want to watch this movie.
That's a different conflict.
All right.
Yeah,
So how about this then? That's the person that you don't notice in the store, right? Right. And they stepped on your. There's the example you gave. They stepped on your shoe. That's different because you don't know them, right? What if it's your friend, your good friend, and y'all walking on the streets, and he steps on your shoe, and you're like, "Yo, dog, what the heck you doing, man?" He's like, "Man, whatever, get off me!" Boom, 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 and there's a push, there's a hit, and a cop is driving by, and he sees it happen. Do you get what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. A conflict is a conflict is a conflict. How you handle it is what's
What makes a
important.
difference.
You're right. It's not always even about who the individual is. Yes, that has a play on it, but any situation can turn into any situation. You get what I'm saying? But yo, man, let's kill it.
Damn.
It's been a good episode.
This was
I hope we're all taking something away from this.
Yeah.
For real.
Run up on everybody
Kingsley?
that you got a problem with. No, just
so. Just carry a gat. I'm just
nah,
playing.
nah.
I'm just playing.
Nah.
You don't want
Conflict
them
res-
problems, big fella.
Conflict
Right.
resolution. Just carry a
Nah,
gat
man.
everywhere I go.
Okay.
Flash it and
Nah,
conflict
you
resolved.
definitely-
There's
I don't know,
gonna be a
man.
Nah, I'm just
documentary
kidding. I'm
on
just kidding.
Netflix about him.
Right.
Hey,
Oh.
as much as I'm on Legacy, that would be amazing if Netflix was.
Oh,
like,
it's not
bro,
gonna be a good thing though.
That's fine.
It's good.
Shit, not all Legacy is good
Look,
Legacy.
they're gonna kick him out the country. It's just gonna be him, his drum machine, and his
My grill.
him, his drum machine,
your
and his
grill,
grill
man.
on a
grill.
raft.
Hey, that's fine.
Hey,
Shit.
let's go. Bye.
All Legacy is not good Legacy, but hey, that's a legacy I'm leaning
This
towards.
dude, man.
This was good though, man. I mean, I think it's something to reflect on and really assess, and just evaluate, man, because I want to be better, man.
We're gonna have to touch on this again. We're gonna have to do a
Right.
follow-up episode
Yeah, I
about dealing
agree.
with conflict with you.
Man, because conflict, think about the root word con. Something's fake about it. Something's fake about it, but
This dude.
will we ever decide and determine what is fake about it?
But did you really try to pull that from con? Because like we can also
don't
think
know.
we could also think of
Might
words
be
like construct, and there's nothing wrong with construct.
Conversation.
You get what I'm saying? So
Conversation.
I don't know.
con,
Look, we have to go
construct.
find like the Greek
Consistent.
or Latin root word.
Consistent, constant. Like those all
like
have
those.
con in it. So it's a con.
Yeah, I like those.
And I think we definitely like with conflict. I guess the conflict portion, like you just definitely have to figure out what it is that the tools that you need,
Right.
because what I need may be different from you, and same with you know what I'm saying. And so you just gotta get in there, man. You gotta be in this game called life, and being in life means growing.
And quit making up stuff.
Life didn't start
Quit-
for me
quit-
until 18.
Look, quit
That's
making up
fine.
stuff
but
too.
But
Talking about
you here.
What the whole con thing?
That whole con because I'm thinking
I know.
because
I
He go sign talk about some construct.
why would you? No, that's not because look, think about it like this,
There
right?
can't be no con in
Look,
that.
listen, check. Let me go ahead and let me. What did they say? Debunk this theory real quick.
you.
So when you talk about con and you're saying ex-con, right? Well, what is con short for? Convict, right? And we're talking about conviction. We talk about conviction in the most positive ways. I speak with conviction. I spit bars with conviction. You see what I'm saying? All it's saying when it's an ex-con is that person, it's been proven that they've done something wrong. They've been convicted. You can have conviction in both good and bad. You know what I'm saying? So let's not, you know what I'm saying? Let's not do that. But when it comes to this, right? One thing I wanted to add to it was when we were talking about the relationship part, and like I was saying, it's not about pushing to the end or avoiding the person in the relationship to avoid the conflict, right? You have to remember, especially if you're with somebody, you have to remember that the ultimate goal is to get to the resolution of the conflict, right? So don't be above reproach. You can say, I'm sorry. You can say, my bad. You can say, you know, I made a mistake. I was wrong for that.
Take because ownership the ultimate and responsibility.
Yes, exactly. So
God knows I've done that.
But you can't take ownership and responsibility of everything because then you're avoiding.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's okay. That's when it comes to picking your battles. But you don't know or you won't learn what battles to pick if you don't put it into practice. You don't put it into practice. That's what you constantly doing in life. Right. When you address or when you come across conflict and you address it head on. It's like practice until you get it right. And once you get it right, every day be like game day. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. I'll say it now. I'll say it a million times. The best way to avoid conflict is to face it head on effectively.
I like that. That's what I got from
That's it. So that's the way. Now, how you do it, the tools that you use, the methodology behind it all, that's on you. But we, your brothers, we'll talk about it. I'm sure y'all will help me. We'll help Mel, right? Yo, that's the episode, man. I am here with everybody to my immediate left. We got my man Mel and Kingsley. Brothers, thank you all for being here.
For sure, man. Appreciate it.
All right, listen, we got Mel, we got Kingsley, and I am Omega. This is Diverse Clarity. This is where we have those thought-provoking conversations about things that matter and some that don't. We'll catch you next episode.